This is Sage Wanderer coming at you from my van down by the river. So, I would like to talk briefly about the rules for radicals. Saul Alinsky was a guy who was a radical and a revolutionary type in the 1960s. And he produced a book called Rules for Radicals that is honestly being used as a playbook by the left. And specifically, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are both big fans of this guy and big purveyors of his ideology. And to give you an idea about who that guy was, he was once quoted as saying that that he could organize hell itself. So this is being used as a playbook. And so one thing I know about struggle is that it's good to know your enemy and what they're thinking. And because they're working from this playbook, they make themselves rather easy to understand if you take the time to understand them. So there's a lot of rules in this book. I'm going to basically touch on some of the ones that I think are the most obvious. They're clearly using these rules for radicals to guide their behavior. And one of the things about the way he laid them out, they're laid out in really chronological order, what you should start with and what you should move on to next. And you can have several of these things going on at once, but I want to hit on some of the ones that I think are really pertinent to what's been going on lately. Rules for radicals number 5. Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. So we're seeing that going on, right? They're making fun of Donald Trump. They ridicule him. They ridicule anyone that stands against them. This calling everyone a racist and everyone a Nazi, it's a form of ridicule. They ridicule me personally on my comments section, making fun of my hat, making fun of my hair, making fun of my appearance, making fun of my education, or guessing what my education might or might not be and making fun of that, making fun of how I live. And so the best way to combat that rule for radicals is to not let it get to you. Don't take it, don't take it to heart. That they can't hurt me. I had 2 sisters. I went to 17 elementary schools because my parents moved all the time. And that's the wanderer part of Sage Wanderer. And, I was always the effing new guy. And so I have, you got nothing, guys. You trolls out there, you got nothing that's going to get me bent out of shape. Just, you might as well give up. And that's what we need to do with these people, is we need to ignore them. Donald Trump has his own way of fighting them. He goes right back and reverses the ridicule on them. I don't even play the game because I think, that's my best bulletproof vest against ridicule, is to just ignore it. Just laugh at it, blow it off. Take it as comedy. So, number 6 rule for radicals: a good tactic is one your people enjoy. And I think that's why you've seen protesting being so common and growing, because they have a way of making it fun. It's a big street party. They get to all come out together. It'll be less fun in the wintertime. The rain and snow is coming. But one of the ways we can combat that, and you've seen this with guys like Tiny and the Proud Boys and the Stick Man, is that they're kind of making their protesting a little less fun. The police are also helping combat this by arresting people and making it a little less fun. So they're kind of enjoying that tactic right now. And I can see why, even watching these hundreds of hours of live streams, I get to kind of grooving out to their little jams. I mean, some of those people can call out a cadence, know what I'm saying? No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist U. It's like a street chant, they got the drum beating on the trash can. So, yeah, pick tactics that your people enjoy. I'm going to skip number 7, jump to number 8. Keep the pressure on and never let up. So I think that's why we see this accelerating, getting tighter and tighter. It started with a protest, every 6 weeks, and then it was a protest every month, and then it was a protest every week and every weekend, and then it's a protest on both days, all weekend. And, that's why I was talking about this Sunday at 10 p.m. thing, that Alex Jones pulled out of his butt out of nowhere. That's a little weird. Maybe he just got lucky. But, he called that 10 o'clock on Sunday night shooting. And then these fires, they all got started at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. So I think you're going to see some weekly terroristic type behavior as we get closer and closer to the 4th of November. They're going to keep up the pressure and keep up the pressure. And once it starts on November 4th, it isn't going to quit. They're just going to keep on. Rule number 10. This is, I think, the most pertinent one to what's going on or what could happen next. Push a negative hard enough and it becomes a positive. Now, when you read what he meant by that statement, it breaks down like this. The protest or any mission's goal is to create a backlash from your opponent. You want the other side to overreact, and then they do something horrible to you, and a few people pay a price, but they get to be martyrs and they get to be the underdog, and it grows sympathy amongst the people. We saw them use this tactic at Charlottesville. They used that incident, that backlash that they had created, to really, mobilize sympathy. And for a while, Antifa was the good guy. Remember that? I never bought it because I've been following them. I saw them before all this, and I saw the role they played. And, with my connections in Antifa, I knew they were no good. But a lot of the world bought it, sold by the mainstream media. Another rule for radicals is you keep telling a lie long enough and then it becomes the truth. And that's something that they've been utilizing effectively for a long time now. They just keep saying the lies that Trump's a racist, saying the lies Trump's colluded with Russia, saying the lies you're a Nazi, until people believe it. But then it backfired on them, and we got to use that rule to benefit the Patriots when Joey Gibson got whipped and got sprayed and got treated so horribly by the crowd in Berkeley, and that turned the tide on Antifa. So, that kind of backfired on them because they got too aggressive. But what they really want to do is bait you. They want to make you start it, and then they're willing to die for their cause. They're willing to take a beating. They're willing to do whatever it takes so they can become the underdogs that they need to be. This is what happened in Cuba during the Fidel Castro revolution, when Fidel Castro and a handful of insurgents tried to take an armory and seize weapons, and Batista's federal troops mowed them down and killed 50 of them and imprisoned the rest. And it was that movement that gave Fidel Castro the underdog status he needed to win the hearts and minds of the people. So you're being played by a playbook. You should know the playbook of your enemy. So give you something to think about today. And right now I want to talk to the patriots real quick and the people on the right who are fed up, who are sick and tired of Antifa, who are sick and tired of all this commotion and all this disruption and want to do something about it. You are playing right into rule number 10, because they're going to push this negative until they can turn it into a positive, and that'll happen when you do something to them. And as hard as that is to take, we just kind of got to let them spin on, because if we step up and do anything, if the people on the right overreact, you're playing right into their cause. And, that very thing might be the piece of the puzzle they need to be in place so that they can really pull off an actual revolution in our country. So we cannot play into their hand. So peace, 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 patience, kindness, goodness. Yeah, kill them with kindness. These are all Jesus's words, and they couldn't be more potent than they are right now. So, yeah, just a little talk on what's next. All right, God save the Republic.